not a YouTuber, just like making videos. And that clip I just showed you there, it was about the Zulu Wars, about how these African men was willing to fight and die for the dignity of their tribe and dignity of their lands. You know, even though they had spears and it was up against superior firepower. Now this video, I'm going to talk about the preposterous notion that slavery was a choice. And I'm telling you, the black man here in America has been misused and abused. The psychological damage is so great that it may be irreversible. Slavery was a choice. That black people love white people so much, they are going to apologize for themselves for what white people have done to them. This is absolute lunacy. You know, I'm like any black person that defends, that has this notion, this preposterous notion that slavery was a choice and defends the Confederate flag is nothing more than an empty shell. You're pretty much fucking useless. You're useless to anybody. And white people don't even really like you. You know, nobody kind of really likes, nobody likes a coward. Nobody likes someone who's mentally weak like that. You know, people were, even your opposing enemy, your enemy that's willing to fight for the death, people have respect for that. It's like kids in the hall. If you see a bully and he's just pouncing on this kid, and each time this kid is doing whatever to try to appease this bully, you know, bring this bully sandwiches, trying to reconcile, as much as this bully disrespects him and try and brutalize him, you're not going to have respect for that kid. But another kid who's willing to fight back, even if he loses, you're going to have respect for him. Like, well, at least he fought back. And that's the thing. These black boys do not recognize how silly they look. You know, and that's the thing. And I'll tell you how destroyed is the mind state of the black man in the North American continent, that he's willing to justify the actions of his oppressors that persecuted him. That is madness. Now you won't find them a Japanese man justifying how his people was being put in the concentration camps or the internment camps. You know, with the white man you got different names for the same things: internment camp, concentration camp, apartheid, segregation, same goddamn thing. You'll never have a Japanese man saying, hey, well, you know, we bombed Pearl Harbor, so it was kind of, I can understand why white people put us in those concentration camps. No. You know, and that's the thing. You know, and it's like I said before, a lot of black people, you know what I'm saying, have not graduated to adulthood. You know, we're still boys in their eyes. I don't care. You can be a black dude that, you know, drape yourself in a Confederate flag and go running around. The white man will still look at you as nothing but a mere boy. The white man will have respect for somebody waving, you know what I'm saying, the red, black, and green flag. Then you know, he may not act like it, but you know, he does. You know, and that's the thing. And then going into the flag, they say it represents Southern pride, Southern heritage. See, but the thing is, there's more than white people that live down south. You know what I mean? You got blacks, you got Mexicans, you have Native Americans. So when you talking about Southern heritage, when we go into heritage, you know what I'm saying, before that heritage, you had another heritage before that, and another heritage before that. So before you pledge allegiance to the Confederate flag and all its different variations, you know, you was pledging allegiance to the original flag of America. You know what I'm saying? The one with 13 stars in a circle, you know, representing the original 13 colonies. You was also aligned yourself with the British flag when you was living over there in British. Was willing to die for that flag. You know, so that's the thing. So don't talk to me about heritage, because we can go back to the goddamn fucking Stone Age when the white man was living in the caves and he probably had some fucking cloth with some sort of symbol that he had an allegiance to. You know, so that's the thing. I'm not a person on flags anyway. I'm not real big on flags anyway. But and that's the thing. No, so now we're gonna go back into slavery was a choice. Tommy Sotomayor made some. So I'll tell you, man, the stuff that Tommy Sotomayor utters out of his pie hole, I'm surprised the spirits or the universe don't allow this guy just to sprout brain tumors or whatever. You know, it's just ridiculous. But this video ain't gonna be about him. You know, because he's an opportunist. But, slavery or death, and we have to understand, for every person that's subdued to slavery, to chattel, there was a black person. There was probably 10, 15 blacks that didn't want to go along with this program, that was willing to fight to the death. There were certain tribes in Africa that was never enslaved. That, you had the Zimba tribe. They shot out poisonous darts. They had ironworks weapons. Not only were they not enslaved, but they never enslaved somebody else to sell them to the white man or the Arabs. And then once you're dealing with the slave boat, the way black men was packed in there, and women was packed in there like sardines, they couldn't kill themselves if they wanted to. They didn't even have enough freedom to grab a splinter to even put to their throats. And that's the thing. And then sometimes the pirates, because the white men on the slave boat, they're pirates. They should be recognized as pirates. Sometimes they'll bring them up to the deck to let them get fresh air, and sometimes they'll have them dance for them to entertain them. It was a 3-month long trip, But these black men, face to face with their captors, face to face with these pirates, was looking at them and said, hey, they got sabers, they got muskets, we can try to overpower them, but they're definitely going to use their weapons against us. And some were successful, some were unsuccessful. We all know about the story of Amistad. And there was another story I read about of a slave revolt on a slave ship, or that was led by a black woman, and they ended up selling back to Africa or whatever. And there were probably some black men in captivity that was captive on those boats. That was, once they was in the upper deck, they said, fuck this, man, I'm not going to go back in the belly of that ship, and just jumped overboard. But the thing is, the people that was like, give me freedom or give me death, they couldn't write their stories. So just because you had a large abundance of blacks that just submitted to slavery, does not make us cowards. And that's the thing. Basically, Tommy Sotomayor and these bootlickers is basically saying that our ancestors, they're pretty much saying our ancestors were fucking cowards. And people compare them to the Native Americans, and so, well, the Native Americans, they fought to the death for their land. Yeah, some of them fought to the death, but some of them willingly went on that trail of tears. That's why you have Native Americans on reservations now. Why didn't they all kill themselves? But I don't fault anybody for for a human being to want to live. That's the thing. That's what makes human beings remarkable. That we're willing to live even under bondage, or even environmental circumstances, like there's a drought or a blizzard or an ice age and things of that nature. You still have human beings willing to survive under extreme conditions. And that's the thing. And then people say, oh, the South was so valiant because they're willing to die for their cause. The slaves weren't. They just bit cotton. But my thing is that why are there Southerners still alive? This, wars are old men create wars that young men die in. So eventually the South had to succumb to the North. The South had to wave the white flag. The South lost. The South should have been, if they were so valiant or whatever, they should have been like, hey man, if we got to put a 10-year-old girl out there with a bayonet, we're going to have to. We're not gonna lose. You know what I mean? We're gonna fight to the very last human being. Therefore, if the North wins, there will be not one Southerner alive for them to even force their rules on, because we'll all have died. You see what I mean? But eventually the South said, okay, you know what I mean, you guys win. We're just gonna still enjoy our Southern life and wave our flag. You know, but to show the cowardice of a lot of the Southerners, a lot of them left the country. They ran down to Mexico and ran down to Brazil. Yeah, no, actually they got into boats and sailed down to Brazil where they can still have slaves, or tried to still have slaves. You know, that's the crazy part. Fucking cowards. And also, even when you're dealing with slavery, you had a lot of blacks that were born in captivity. So a lot of them didn't know any better, or the ideas of them being free like the white man didn't enter into their head, and it took a while for it to enter into their you know what I'm saying, to their mentality. You know what I'm saying, to, you know, because that's why they wanted to keep the slaves dumb and keep them from reading. You know, they basically wanted to kill the black man's mind but keep the body. So the black people will be functioning on the level of animals. Like, you know, a pig or a cow, you know, they don't think about killing themselves. Like, oh, I can't take this on this farm, I'm going to kill myself. And that's how they want to get to the level of the slaves. You know, the slaves, they want them to operate on that level. But for every slave, you know, the slaves knew that even, you know what I'm saying, if they tried to escape from captivity, that death may be the penalty. If they tried to run away and if they're captured, they may not be, oh, they're just going to bring them back to the farm and just have them pick some more cotton. They may just kill them. A lot of times the slave master wanted to set an example. You know, they'll capture a runaway slave, bring them back to the plantation, and they'll be like, well, you know, I had problems with this slave before, but I'm going to kill him. I'm going to have him die a slow death. That's the thing. The white man is the master of torturing people, going back to the Dark Ages. You know, and he'll have this slave die. You know what I mean? He'll be in agonizing pain for days in front of other slaves to set an example. And still, a lot of slaves seeing this, they'll know what the repercussions are, and they'll still run away to freedom. So each slave that ran away, their mentality was, give me freedom or give me death. You can't just make these things like, oh, you know, if someone put a gun to your head and they're so therefore, you know, that a lot of slaves, if they didn't run away to freedom, they was planning on running away. You know, they may say, oh, I'm going to pick some cotton right now. You know, I'm going to smile in the master's face. But still, I got the blueprint ready. I'm drawing out plans. We're having our meetings. They'll best believe, you know what I mean? I'm going to pick cotton for about a good week. And I'm going to have everything set up for, you know what I'm saying? Or some slaves will be like, hey, I'm going to be a good slave. Get the master to trust me, because when the master trusted some of the slaves, he'll let him even walk with freedom, walk to other plantations or whatever, or ride a horse or do things, and have him, you know what I'm saying, being able to, like a trustee. In jail they call him a trustee, that he may be able to get off the plantation. And some of these guys, they'll have the master's trust to the point where, yeah, okay, you want me to go over to the you know what I'm saying, the Graham plantation, and go deliver them a message? Okay, boss, give me the message, I'll deliver it. Boom, and never come back. You know, but my time is running short. Thanks for watching, and don't stop learning.